So a long-standing feature, maybe the longest-standing feature of Cold War propaganda in the West was the Soviet grocery store. No products, no choices, shoddily made things. And it wasn't actually propaganda, it was real. And you can look up the pictures on the internet if you want. So we thought it would be interesting to take a look at a contemporary, modern-day, 2024 Russian grocery store 2 years into sanctions.
Apparently, Tucker Carlson wasn't content to just let Vladimir Putin walk all over him in an extended and embarrassing interview. He also visited a Russian grocery store and apparently got radicalized. Let's hear him explain what got him so riled up.
I went from amused to legitimately angry. So we were guessing what this would cost. Everybody hears from the United States buys groceries, and we didn't pay any attention to costs as we were just putting in the cart what we would actually eat over a week. And we all came in around $400, about $400. It was $104 US here. And that's when you start to realize that ideology maybe doesn't matter as much as you thought, corruption. If you take people's standard of living and you tank it through filth and crime and inflation, and they literally can't buy the groceries they want, at that point, maybe it matters less what you say or whether you're a good person or a bad person. You're wrecking people's lives in their country, and that's what our leaders have done to us. And coming to a Russian grocery store, the heart of evil, and seeing what things cost and how people live, it will radicalize you against our leaders. That's how I feel anyway, radicalized.
What is he even getting at?
I mean, it's just so insane to act like, crime is a uniquely American issue when you're talking about Russia, but we'll get to more of that in a minute. He makes the most hysterically embarrassing mistake, probably because he's so out of touch as the heir to the Swanson frozen food family fortune and hasn't gone grocery shopping ever in his life.
Right, exactly.
But he's about to fawn over something that currently exists in America. Take a look.
There we go. So I guess you put in 10 rubles here and you get it back when you put the cart back. So it's free, but there's an incentive to return it and not just bring it to your homeless encampment.
He is amazed by the cart that I use every week when I go grocery shopping at Aldi. This man is an idiot. We knew that. But God, to embarrass yourself like that because you're just so out of touch, because you're so uber wealthy and have been so privileged your entire life that you don't go to the grocery store and you don't have to shop at Aldi. I mean, yeah, the interview with Putin was bad enough. This is just ridiculous.
Yeah, first of all, I had no idea that the heart of evil lay in Russian grocery stores. That's not even a thing I knew. Is that what people thought? Like, sin, debauchery, pure evil. Where do I go? Do I go to maybe Putin's house? Where he's murdering his political opponents, invading countries? No. Maybe bombing, invade terrorists? Nope. Russian grocery stores. I started out not knowing what the hell he's talking about. Then he gets to like this newfangled invention they have in Russia where you put the ruble in and then you extract it once you put the shopping cart back. Yeah, Tucker, you schmuck. And then he's like, oh, it costs less than America. Yeah, because they're poorer than us. They also make a lot less than us. So we've got those stats for you guys in a second. But this is wonderfully embarrassing. And now, since he lost power, and we're gonna get to this too, now the right-wingers are dunking on him. Oh, I love to see it. So fun for everyone. Jackson.
I mean, where do you even begin? There's so much to say about this. So firstly, again, the whole thing about it's so much cheaper here. Like, as you pointed out, yeah, because the economy's smaller. But also in other segments, I've seen him talk about where he'll say like, there's no inflation here. Like, what? What are you talking about? There's no inflation in Russia. And then like, it's odd because you'd think that with Tucker Carlson, always Marxist this, Marxist that, leftist this, you're in Russia. Like that is the epitome of very, very far left politics. So like it just doesn't even make sense politically and ideologically. Like you're trying to fit a square in a hole, whatever that saying is, a square peg in a round hole, whatever. And then it's like from start to finish, you can just see he has no like life experience doing anything that like everyday people do. He's incredibly untalented, incredibly uninteresting. Fox News was his whole platform. And don't get me wrong, when you're with a big organization, that's always going to boost you. It's always going to give you like, credibility and stuff like that. But since he left Fox, well, got fired from Fox News rather, it's like you pointed out, and like we're about to watch, right wingers are making fun of him because he's so bad at this. It's like, bro, you don't have to work a day in your life. Like, go play golf, go play tennis or something. Like, live your life in Greece or some. Like, go away. Like, it's so stupid.
I did find it interesting that he was like, talking about inflation. Again, like it's a uniquely American issue, despite the fact that not only did they have inflation in Russia, their current rate of inflation is higher in Russia than it is in America.
Right.
Russians make less money and spend a higher percentage of their income on groceries every week. I mean, it's, just blatant propaganda. But, as both of you mentioned, even right wingers are turning on him over this, including one Senator Tom Tillis, who tweeted out, yes, Russia is so much better than the United States with all those cheap groceries and lavish subway stations. The Soviets had a term for people like Tucker, useful idiots, emphasis on the idiots. And Ben Shapiro also reposted this tweet about Alexei Navalny. And Stephen L. Miller quoted it and wrote, okay, but have you seen the train station? Because we didn't show you this video, but Tucker Carlson also rode on a train and he was so ecstatic. I take the blue line every single day of my life. I'm not making, and I do love it. I love the L here in Chicago. I'm a huge fan, but I'm not soy facing every day when I step into the station, okay? Like, it's not some amazing, it's just transportation. But in that same vein about Alexei Navalny, Meghan McCain also. Did you know that she's John McCain's daughter? She tweeted out this picture of him in response to the video of Tucker Carlson, and of with all of that specific criticism being levied against his interview, he did speak to the Daily Mail and said it's horrifying what happened to Navalny. No decent person would defend it, but, and it's a big but, Daily Mail noted that on Monday, when asked about accusations of lobbing softballs at an autocrat like Putin, who had been accused of countless deaths, Carlson replied, every leader kills people. Leadership requires killing people. And apparently, Cenk, leadership requires killing your political opponents. That's true leadership.
Well, believe them when they tell you what they want to do, right? And so this is why people are concerned about the MAGA crowd. And he was, he was the prince of MAGA when he had the #1 show on Fox News. And people were very afraid of him. So Republican senators criticizing, mocking Tucker Carlson would have never happened when he is on Fox News. But you see these jackals, the minute that they feel like, oh, he no longer has 3 million people a night that he can stick on me, and he's out of power in media, then they all pile on, right? So now they're right to pile on in this case, but they were not right to kiss his ass earlier, and they were afraid of him earlier. But obviously now no one's afraid of Tucker Carlson. So that's a beautiful day. And finally, let me give you the numbers. So the average Russian wage per month is $791. That's around $10,000 a year. Oof. So yeah, I hope their groceries are a lot lower than ours, but to give you a sense of how disastrous their food situation is, over 60% of Russians spend half of their salary on food. Half of their salary. How the hell do they pay for rent, let alone anything else? So their situation is actually far worse than ours. Did Tucker Carlson look that up and purposely ignore that to lie to his audience? Or is he a moron who didn't even bother to think, oh right, they might have lower wages here, huh? That never crossed your mind? So there's only two choices. Either he's a moron or he's lying to you on purpose.
Definitely a little bit of both. Because I mean, for his whole thing to be like, what he said a few days ago, I read, because it was from this story. He said Moscow is nicer than any city in America. Like any city. It's nicer than New York, LA, San Diego, Chicago, Houston, Dallas. Like, dude, shut up. Like, and two, as if he hasn't been everywhere in the world. You know, like Tucker Carlson has been around the world many times over. I think he's just bored. And he doesn't need to work. So go not work. Go figure yourself out.
Or you know what? Maybe you could take an extended vacation in Russia. Just stay there.
Right, exactly.
I mean, if it's so lovely, if it's nicer than ever. I mean, look, in the old days, if a Democrat had said Moscow's nicer than any city in America, that would have been the end of their career. And the right wing would have been like, commie, traitor. Okay, now look, we're nicer. We don't say any of that. Tucker, just stay. You found the best city in the world. And you know, by the way, if your interview is not quite right the next time with Putin, maybe he murders you. But hey, you know what? For a while, you'll have nice, cheap groceries on your American salary.
Hey, thanks for watching that video. We really appreciate it, guys. And we appreciate it if you become members, because that allows us to be independent, honest, progressive, all the things that you don't get from corporate media. And all of that is because of you guys. Hit the join button below and become one of us. Become a Young Turk.